is letting us, taking time to bring us current. A lot of great things is happening in this community. I think that our entities, government, city, InvestAtlanta, everybody is trying to make this happen. I've been listening to the same song, different versions, but everybody say small business is at the forefront, ranks right up there with affordable housing. So it's our job as an association to get the word out to as many. If you know some, you get it out. We got some exciting things that we're going to talk about. I will officially call the meeting to order, and then those who come in, they can welcome, join. I want to make sure Kelsey has enough time to do the things he needs to do, and I want to have enough time to get us updated on what's going on within our association and in the community. Again, I'm John Mapp, president of Northwest Business Association. Really enjoy what it is I do. It's just amazing being in the community that your father and your in-laws worked in to try to bring the business back to this community. So I'm excited about that. I got an awesome team that have worked with me. Ben is one of them. I was listening to you, Ms. Freeman, say, I got to call you. I got something for you to do. Ben, I'm going to tie you to this chair. You're not going anywhere. So Ben helps us there. Keona Jones is vice president. She helps us a lot. Tarnace is our treasurer that works with us. He had an accident at I think Donnelly Hollowell and Westlake.
Westlake, yes.
Westlake. And
hi, everybody.
Someone drunk driver hit him. So he's okay.
He works for Grove Park Foundation. I might need to move a little bit. He works for Grove Park Foundation, and he said he was on Westlake and a drunk driver hit him head on, basically. I mean, if you would see the car, it is like unbelievable that he is walking around right now.
So I got an awesome team. We meet every fourth Thursday of each month. We have a survey that we like for all, we ask at all AMPUs for their businesses to take so we can serve the need and be ready to react accordingly. I wanted to give a lot of exciting things to do. I'm nosy, as Jennifer know. I found out about her. I found out about Lisa, and I know now who they are and how they found us. So that was very interesting. So I got enough of that to know. Welcome again. Did anybody, Gail, does anybody want to speak about any of the like Resurgence? Do you want to say a word or two on that? Give us an update.
Well, Keona, that's okay.
All right, Kelsey, got that one.
Yeah, Keona will be talking about the workshop, but
okay,
Kelsey can tell us about the grant itself.
Okay.
So yeah, we can go ahead and just dive on in.
Okay. Kelsey, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself and let us know what you do, and you can go right into what you do.
Okay, perfect. Well, good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining this meeting. I see some familiar faces. My name is Kelsey Maynor. I am currently the small business advocate for InvestAtlanta, as well as the property manager for the I-Village. If you ever on MLK by the H Homes train station, InvestAtlanta has developed a container space over there with small businesses inside, and I oversee that as well. I'm accompanied here today with
Hey, Kelsey, if you can hear me, you may want to turn off your video. Your bandwidth is low. I don't think he can hear us.
I learned something today.
There you go.
Atlanta's team. She handles a lot of TAD and works specifically in all areas as well. So yes.
Can someone text
Kelsey,
him
are
and
you
let
there?
him know? Can someone text him and let him know we can't hear him?
All right.
Oh my goodness, where's my phone?
Yeah.
Hmm. Let me see if I can get him.
I can
Sorry,
hear
you
you.
all.
Can you hear me? I hear everybody. Can you hear
You're
me?
really
I can talk.
dragging.
I can hear.
Kelsey,
I'm here. Can y'all hear me?
that's clear, but
No?
you are dragging. Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys. Don't
Okay,
worry,
I
I'm
think
about to
it,
switch to another.
okay.
1 second. I'm sorry, guys. I was hoping this was gonna work out.
So while we're waiting for Kelsey to rejoin the call, Mr. Mapp, your comment about the neighborhood business survey just reminded me that I'm supposed to be reaching out to you about an opportunity
Okay.
to support your survey.
Okay.
So you may know I also have been supporting Atlanta Housing with the Bowen Choice Planning Implementation Grant. And I recently was speaking with Kenwin, who has been kind of facilitating all of those workshops in the economic development and workforce training workshop, right? And he presented an opportunity for us to utilize, I think it's a group of students through Georgia Tech, possibly, that could provide some street team that would go out and go door to door and conduct the survey. They would have like tablets, and all the information would be inputted into that device. So I wanted to raise that since you mentioned it, and it had slipped my mind because we've been working on some other things, but I want to talk to you all about that opportunity. It would be probably a situation where we would, because Atlanta Housing has also been trying to conduct a similar survey. So I would like to see if there's some possibility for us to join forces and come up with a consolidated survey and then utilize this group of students. It's completely pro bono to my understanding to go out and conduct the survey.
Makes sense. No need for two entities going to the same person. That would really bother me as a business owner. So yes, and pro bono was the second thing. Sounded good.
Yes.
And the energy of youth.
Yes.
Walking. Yes.
Definitely. So I will get back with Kenwin on that and see if that's something that is a resource that is still available. So thank you for reminding me.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Kelsey, are you back?
You back? You strong?
I'm back. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, that sounds much better.
Much better.
Oh, thank goodness. So I was gonna use my laptop so I can show you guys the PowerPoint with voice today. I think if I speak slow and clearly, we'll all understand. Is that good?
That's good.
All
And
right.
Kelsey, if you need me to pull up anything, I can also pull something up.
Okay, I appreciate it. So what I'll do is I'll go over the Resurgence briefly. I know y'all have had a couple of presentations about the Resurgence, but that is kind of the hot topic of InvestAtlanta at this moment, our Resurgence Grant. So this is our Resurgence 2 grant, and it is a reimbursable grant that we're doing, covers expenses that small businesses incurred from March 3rd of 2021 until now. So the Resurgence Grant is a federal grant done by ARP. And that program, again, is related to COVID related incidences. So if a business that experienced financial hardship in the last year because of COVID, this grant is for you. And so it's really exciting because we're getting a lot of buzz and we're doing a lot, as much as we can to make sure we're reaching every business in the city of Atlanta. Samira's doing an amazing job as we're putting together teams, and we have street teams in the different corridors, make sure they're hitting these businesses, and then we're coming back behind, putting our hands on everybody to make sure that everybody knows about this this grant program. So with the grant program, it's giving you up to $40,000 in reimbursement for your expenses. So there are a few requirements though, and I'll briefly go over the requirements. You have to be a City of Atlanta business. So in order to verify that, we're asking that businesses have their City of Atlanta business license. That's one of the requirements. A City of Atlanta business license. You also have to be have your up-to-date 2022 Secretary of State documentation. And then there's a few other documents that you would need, but those are the two requirements that I'm kind of running into. But as far as the expenses that you can request for reimbursement, we're looking at your lease. So if you have a business that is in a commercial space or office or anything like that, you're paying a lease for your business, then you can submit that lease for reimbursement that you've been paying for the last year. You can also do PPE products. So if that's masks and gloves, hand sanitizer, Lysol wipe, spray, cleaning things that you had to do in excess because of COVID and operating in that time period. Payroll is also something that's eligible for reimbursement. If you have a lease on equipment, so say you have equipment in your business that you have to pay a lease on, you can submit that documentation as well for reimbursement. And it's really exciting because a lot of these times, certain items aren't always on that list, but I think we're covering a great gamut of what we have. And now I want to let you guys know it's not solely for small businesses, but also nonprofits. So if you have a nonprofit, you can also eligible for reimbursement through the Resurgence Grant as well. And this time it's also different because we also allow for at-home businesses. Because what we realize is everybody that maybe was working in an office space is now working at home. So if you still incur business expenses working from home, they're able to also document those expenses as well. So I've been the kind of one of the point people and having conversations with people as they are inputting their information into the application. So I'm going to do a little deep dive into the application process. When you go on to the InvestAtlanta website, you'll see a banner at the top and it said, you'll see Resurgence, and you want to select that area. And when you start to apply for your application, actually apply for the grant, it's going to ask you to do a couple documents that need to be notarized. One of the documents is a save affidavit. So if you ever work with InvestAtlanta, save affidavit is a document that we use across the board to designate that what we're doing, because it's federal, it's grant money. So you have to do a save affidavit, pretty much check a box saying, this is me, I'm the person that's doing it, and then have that notarized. There's another document that kind of gets people kind of caught up, and it was our duplication. It's a duplication document. And it's pretty much this document is saying that I am requesting reimbursement for funds. And if I've had, say you're a business and last year you were part of the Resurgence, or you received money from EIDL or SBA or any of the federal money that was going around because of COVID, and you received some financing from one of these departments or one of these funds, then we just want you to disclose that you received it and that you are checking a box stating that I'm not requesting that the expenses that I'm submitting for this grant have already been covered by another grant. And so a lot of times when people are calling and asking me about this particular document, it seems confusing, but in essence, what they're saying is if you received funds last year, then document what you received, where you spent it, and then just check a box saying, I am confirming that the money that I received was not used for the expenses that I'm now requesting a reimbursement for. And there's a couple more documents, a financial hardship affidavit that needs to be signed and notarized as well. And that's pretty much saying I experienced a financial hardship during this period of time because of COVID. Again, if you go to the InvestAtlanta website, all the documentation you would need is right there on that website in the Resurgence area. You can just go down to the bottom. You can download each document, have it printed out, sign it, have it notarized when you're with the notary. And you can take screenshots, you can scan it and put it back into and upload it back into the application. The last thing that I've been getting a lot of hiccups on is the section for payroll. Now, a lot of small business that I run into, it's like, hey, it's just me by myself. I don't have any other employees. I'm just doing it by myself. But yet they're not letting me move past the payroll section. So what I've been instructed to recommend is just getting a piece of paper and writing. You can handwrite it and say, put the date, the name of your business, and say, I am the sole employee and operator of this business. I'm the owner. I have no employees. You can sign that, date that document, and take a picture of it and upload it saying that, hey, it's just me. I'm the only person that's doing this business at this time. So I have no payroll. But if you do have payroll, you'll see that it asks for a Form 941. Now, that's just a suggestion. It's not saying that you have to complete this document. It's saying that if you don't have timesheets that show, how your employees are getting paid for their hours, or if you don't have any payroll documentation, this particular document can be used to document your payroll, but it doesn't have to be used if you have other forms of showing how you pay payroll. And yes, some people say, hey, I've been paying people via Cash App for time. If you have a spreadsheet of how you've been documenting their time and you can take screenshots of how you Cash App them for that time, that's acceptable as well. So those are some of the questions and situations that I've run into in the recent times as far as the application. You will have to provide receipts. And so there's a section further down in the application where they ask you, is categorized by expenses. So again, as I said, if you have commercial lease, there's a section that asks if you have a commercial lease or mortgage, put here how much you spent on that for the time period that you want to get reimbursed for. If you have payroll, in this section, put in that section how much that you have spent in that time period for payroll. And then in the following section, they're looking for receipts, invoices, the copies of your commercial lease. Those things will be uploaded to support the request that you're asking for reimbursement. So the Resurgence, I think this time go around is much easier to complete. It asks for less financial documentation, and I think we try to make it as user-friendly as possible. As Ms. Jennifer was saying, as user-friendly as possible as far as being able to upload your documentation. And of course, I'll put my information in the chat. But if you have any questions about the Resurgence, if you have any questions about your application, if you already submitted or you're about to submit it, you can be in the process of submitting. I have access to the applications and I can go in and see exactly where you are and be able to coach you through it. I do it every day. I get a phone call at least 5 times a day from somebody saying, hey, I'm stuck at this point right here, or hey, I submitted mine. Can you look to make sure I did the documentation correctly? So I'm here to help you guys make sure that everybody is getting their application into the Resurgence Grant for this year. Do we have any questions before I move on to our next program?
This is
Yes.
Ben Moore. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ben.
Okay. Mine is related to 1099 employees. So would that just be considered an expense and I wouldn't need to worry about the Form 941? Is that correct?
No. So if you have 1099 employees, you can submit that in the section. There's a second section that says there's a payroll section and like an employee section. So for that area, I would just put, I have employees I've been doing 1099. If you have documentation of how they've been working, if you have invoices for how they've been working, submit those invoices. Say, hey, this is how they invoiced me, but this is how I pay for it, and this is the amount I paid from. It can be a screenshot from your business bank account. It can be, like I said, Cash App. Just how you've been paying them. If you have a 1099 form, that's fine as well. Just the documentation has to align saying, I paid these people, and this is how. You can use the payroll section if you like to.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, and I had a question. We have already submitted ours. Once you submit it, how long does it take?
That's a great question.
On average.
That's a great question. Oh man, that's a tough question to answer as well, but it's a great question. So as of right now, I can disclose to you that we currently have 2,300 applications that have started. That's not saying they're all complete, but about 2,300 applications have started. So if these applications do transfer over and end up being submitted, then we're probably looking at between 4 and 6 months processing to make sure we go through and make sure every document is accurate and every business is claiming the accurate stuff. And they go through underwriting, they go through the scoring process, and then funds being disseminated. That's what's been communicated to me. And a lot of people have been alarmed about that. Like, man, what you mean 4 to 6 months? That's a long time after the application period has closed. So after April 29th, we're saying about 4 to 6 months based on the volume. But to be fair, if I can explain to you how it's being done, we are currently going through applications as they're being submitted, but every application that's submitted is somebody's putting their hands on it, like physically, and combing through each one, reaching back out to the business owner, asking questions, making sure that things are clear, making sure if there was a mess up in the documentation, or if this particular expense isn't clear, we want to make sure we communicate with every business owner that has submitted to make sure that we are clear and that we're giving them a fair chance. And with that, I mean, however many applications get through to the submission point, each one of those businesses is going to get touched and communicated with and confirmed. And that takes a little bit of time. Then it has to go through underwriting to make sure that if it fits with the federal guidelines that we have to go by. So long answer, 4 to 6 months looks like the window. It could be sooner, but I hope it won't be any longer. Like 6 months is like the extreme. Final answer.
Thank you.
Any more questions before I have one more program I want to tell you about, but I want to make sure I answer any questions about Resurgence.
We good?
Well,
All right. No, go
Kelsey,
ahead.
I think it would be a good time just to announce as well what we plan to do in the corridor, the
Mhm.
Donnelly Hallowell corridor.
Yes.
You want to speak to that, Kiana?
Yeah, John was gonna give me time at the end, but you want me,
Oh.
I can do it
Yeah,
now.
go ahead. No,
No,
we'll do
it's
it
fine.
now.
This
No,
is
do
your
it
show.
So we rolling.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Please forgive me for being late. And bear with me, my sinuses, I got a bad sinus problem today. But what we're planning to do, the Northwest, well, like I said, I'm Keon and I'm vice president of NWBA. And what we're gonna do is offer a workshop on April 7th, 2022. Paradise Baptist Church located on Donnelly Hollowell. And we'll be sending out the flyer. I don't know when, but it should be maybe tomorrow or no later than next week. It'll be from 6 until 8 p.m. And Kelsey, Samira, and myself will be there. They'll do the presentation, and I'll just be there to support. So, and it'll be food. So if you're getting off from work, you don't have to stop and get anything. You don't have to stop by the house. Just come straight to Paradise.
That's cute.
Yeah. So, and shout out to the Grove Park Foundation also, because they're going to supply finger food for us. So, thank you, and that is my report. Did I need to go into any other details, Samir?
I was just gonna say, it is also our intention to go out next week and, share this information, go canvas businesses in the corridor to share the information and make sure that we have an audience. So a lot of the things that Kelsey kind of walked you through today, will be providing some visual context to what the application looks like and what you can expect trying to go in there and set up your application. Hopefully we'll also, in addition to the refreshments, we should also have maybe some copies of the documents that need to be signed and notarized, just for some convenience for you to be able to have those already printed off. And as he said, sign them, notarize them, take a screenshot, and upload them to the porthole.
Correct.
Thank you.
And I just want to thank you for that. That is wonderful. And what we will do, because I was thinking about this meeting, and I don't think we sent a reminder out this week. We sent the reminder last week. You know, you have to stay on the top of people's minds. So we will definitely make sure that we do, you know, every avenue. And I even, you know, talk with Dustin Hillis, so it's on his Facebook page, and Anita Hill is on their Facebook page, and you know, so we can just really, really get the word out electronically. But like you're saying, it is still a door-to-door, face-to-face, because people don't trust the system, and we have to get their trust. So, you know, they'll say, you know, I tried it last year and it didn't work, and you know, that kind of stuff. So we really need to work on, you know, getting their trust. And then a lot of them don't want to do the virtual thing either. So it would be great to have it in person.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably good to also share that, you know, and kind of coming to this point, I want to say, first of all, you know, I heard you, Miss Mapp, and I heard you, Kiona, when we sat down and you all, you know, really shared this as a need in terms of how to engage with the business community. And then that information was really only underscored by some of the data that Kelsey has shared on the applications and where those applications are being submitted. And I would say that there are not a lot of data points in this particular area. So I think that it's going to be, it just really shows how much it's necessary for us to be more hands-on with certain parts of the city. You know, we didn't have a lot of data points, and additionally to that, we had street teams that went out and didn't even really touch on Hallowell as much. So, you know, we want to make sure that everybody at least has the opportunity to have the information and have the proper support that they need, and if they are truly interested in taking advantage of this opportunity.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You know, absolutely. Mr. Kelsey,
so I got one more program for you guys. Are y'all ready? Hope I'm not boring you, but be alert. I'm telling you, I just told you about access to get free money back for business expenses that you already incurred, but now I got one more program for you. So along with the ARP money that we used for the Resurgence Grant, we also took some funds and we decided to help businesses out with this. What happened was this: over the last couple of years, we've watched as businesses receive money. And when we did a survey last year to find out, like, hey, you know, what did you do with the money that you received when I was doing work with United Way? What did you do with the money that you received? And they were like, well, I used that money to go, and some of it was payroll, some of it was to, you know, pay some things off. Some of it was to say, you know what, I had to take care of some stuff legally, so I had legal fees. I had to pay the lawyer. I had to pay my CPA to do some work. I used money to pay a social media marketing person. I got a new website, and they were taking the money and paying for what we call business services. But at the end of the year, they had nothing to show for it. And she was like, so what we did was we took some of the funds and we did a RFP and really did a high vetting process and selected about 13 different business services providers and created a place called atlnbusiness.com. So InvestAtlanta has a website. It's atlnbusiness.com. atlnbusiness.com. Go to that website. And when you go to the website, you'll see it talks about small business and starting a business and growing your business. And it's a website that we developed that has some resources for small businesses. But you'll see one place up top where it says find a consultant. And if you select find a consultant, it will take you to a page and you can search by expertise. And again, there's several businesses in there that will provide you business services. So if you're like, hey, you know, I need some help with my bookkeeping or how I organize my finances. Because I was trying to get a loan one day and they asked me for some documentation that I didn't have prepared correctly. So I need some help with that. You go onto that that website, go find a consultant looking at expertise for bookkeeping, finances, financial, finance, and the businesses that specialize in that will pop up. You can click connect to that business service provider, click connect, and you'll fill out a short document that will ask you some information about you and your business. That's only so they'll know who they're talking to and what they're dealing with. Once you complete that, you'll get an email from them to set up a one-on-one consultation. Now, this isn't a one-time consultation. It's the initial consultation to see, hey, do I like that business? Do I like the person that I'm working with? Do I think they can help me? If you don't think that company can help you, go back into the portal and set up a meeting with another one and find out, keep going until you find a business service provider that you like that can help you with the needs of your business, and they will do that work with you for free. Now, this is one-on-one consultation. It is free of charge to you, and we want you to make sure that the business needs that you have are being met. So we vetted these organizations. We have the Atlanta Black Chamber of Commerce. We have the Urban League. We have Rev B, which does some great work. We have a couple law firms, some financial firms. We have a marketing company that does photo and video and social media, and they do web design. We made sure that we had all these avenues that we could use for our small businesses to have access to. If you need HR help, if you say, you know what, I'm trying to hire a couple of employees, but I'm not quite sure how to go about it, so I'm not paying them on Cash App, or so that the documentation is right. I got a 1099, I want to do 1099, but how do I structure that so that I'm doing it the right way, so they're getting paid and everything is correct? Or if you don't know how to do it, because I don't know how to do it, go to one of those companies and talk to them about how to get it set up for your business, and it's free. So I'm gonna repeat it. It's ATLINbusiness.com. And I'm really excited because I've been able to have my hands on this program along with my other teammates, Jeff Morris and Melody Eccles, who also oversees the Resurgence. And so this team has been working really diligently to make sure that we are providing these services and that all businesses are having access to. It's not part of the Resurgence, it's separate. So even if you don't apply to the Resurgence, or even if you don't get Resurgence funds, you can still go to ATLINbusiness.com and access these business services. Now, this is not going to stop at April 29th like the Resurgence is. This is going on for the next 2 years. So for the next 2 years, you'll have access to this website, access to these business service providers, and it's free of charge to you and your business. I can't reiterate that enough. ATLINbusiness.com. You go onto that website, hit find a consultant, connect with one of those business providers, set up your one-on-one meeting, address some of the issues that you have, and then they'll help you work out a plan to see that to fruition. It's not a one-off, it's not a one-time thing. I say keep going until you get your business needs served.
Wow, that is
I
excellent.
wonder if someone's gonna be excited. There we go.
Yes,
That
we were 10 times
is
thrilled.
excellent. Oh my gosh. And I just need to ask you this, Kelsey. So are you in an office over at the iVillage?
Yes, ma'am. If you want to come see me, just email me, call me. I'm usually at the iVillage. Sometimes I'm in the community. So let me know what day you want to come by. I'll make sure I'm there. And if you want some help, I've sat there. I've printed out applications for some people. I've helped them fill out Resurgence applications. I helped them get their affidavit signed. Notarized. Whatever you need help with, I'm there for you.
Okay, well, that's good to know. So I can tell, we're gonna tell everybody.
Tell everybody, I'm right there. But we also have, okay, I got one announcement. So we have hubs as well. And so these hubs are new. So InvestAtlanta has been nowhere where our headquarters is in the Georgia Pacific building downtown in Atlanta on the 29th floor. But in order to get there, we haven't necessarily opened up to the public yet, but we have started doing these hubs. And so we have Pittsburgh Yards, the iVillage. We have Mary Parker, which is on Campbellton Road. We also have the RCI building, the Russell Center, right there downtown. So those 4 locations also will house a representative from InvestAtlanta who should be well versed in these programs. So if you ever want to go over there and pop in there one day, there should be somebody there. But I know we also have office hours that you can go into InvestAtlanta.com, InvestAtlanta's website, and you can book office hours with one of us, and we'll be able to meet you at one of these locations as well. But I'm permanently usually stationed at iVillage, but if you want to meet me somewhere closer to you, we can meet at one of those locations as well. And I'll repeat it, it's Pittsburgh Yards, the Russell Center, iVillage, and Mary Parker off Campbellton Road. Those are 4 hubs that we have that we can do business in around. Am I missing, Samira, am I missing one? That's the 4, right?
I'm not as familiar. I know.
Okay, just
You
check.
said Rice Center, Pittsburgh Yards, and I'm not familiar with the other one. If you said it already.
Okay. Cool. I think I covered them all.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody have any questions?
I don't have a question, but I have an announcement. We will be canvassing on Tuesday. What date is that?
The 29th,
Yeah,
the day before my birthday.
All right. Tuesday the 29th from 9:30 until what, like 11:30? So
Yeah, with the 3 of us, the teams that we breaking out into, it shouldn't take us too long, hopefully.
too long? Okay, all right. Well, if anybody want to help, we'll meet at the Grove Park Foundation. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Oh, and today is John's birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
I don't smell nothing cooking, Kim. Hey, that
You are
is,
almost Pisces. You are almost Pisces.
yeah.
My birthday was March 13th, so
Wow.
Yeah.
Happy belated birthday to you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Happy
absolutely.
birthday, everybody.
Everybody.
So I have a question, because I've
Yes.
heard the word notary multiple times,
Mhm.
and I am a notary, so I do that for here. Unfortunately, I have out of town guests on April 7th, and I couldn't come to help then. But
Mhm.
Kelsey, am I understanding that, or maybe I'm not, but when you're at iVillage, if I could come at a lunch hour or something, then people could make an appointment with you to come and get my notary services for free, instead of, like, I have to pay $10 to $12 every time I need a notary, which makes me mad. And I would like to give it to people for free.
Right.
And I'm just wondering if other people there are a lot of people out there who have their notary seal, but I'm just wondering if that's something that can be done at iVillage, if folks like me were willing to come.
It could be.
Okay.
If it was organized, yes. I think it could
Would
work.
Would you be the organizer, or?
Yes.
Okay.
I would have to put out a mass message and be like, hey, free notary
Yeah.
service today from 12 to 1 o'clock. And hopefully people show up.
Gotcha.
But yes,
Okay.
that I appreciate you. That's something that we could,
Yeah.
like, I have paid for 3 notary services because people
Yeah.
come in and they're like, oh, thank you so much. They leave to walk out the office, the notary's packing up and like, so are you paying me? So I'm like, there you go, man. So,
Yeah, no,
yes, I
okay.
would appreciate that. So
Sure
if
thing.
if you could
Your
email
info
me, I
is
would
on
love
the
to see that.
flyer, right?
Yes, I believe
Okay,
so.
I got it. And by the way, everybody, I just have been typing over here, and I'm sending a request to members of the team who are in charge of populating the Bowen website, because I feel like this ought to be up there,
Mhm.
all of this. And so we'll see where that goes. But that's why I kept turning aside. I was like, I don't want to forget this. So hopefully I can get it up
Thank
there. But
you.
yeah, Kelsey, I'll follow up with you, and because I'd be happy to try to help do that.
Greatly appreciate it. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
no problem. No
Any
problem.
other questions of Kelsey?
not a question, but a comment, and
Yes,
this is
please.
probably going to be for the association as well.
Yes.
So any digital flyers that you all have, please send them to me.
Okay.
In addition to working with the Congresswoman and Chairman Pitts, I am an admin of a lot of Facebook groups,
Okay.
and I share on over 50 of them because of the relationships that I have. And so, including business associations
Mhm.
their Facebook pages. So I'll be happy to, to really share the information, any activities or events that you all have going on. I'll be happy to share those, and InvestAtlanta the same as well. That's it.
Wonderful, thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
I did take down your contact information from the chat. I want to make sure that we have an approved flyer
Very good.
that announces kind of this April 7th date. Hopefully we can get that solidified within the next day or so, definitely ahead of our canvassing. But when that's available, I will send that to you.
Okay, and speaking of Bowen Choice, that project, you all actually met with, I live in historic Collier Heights, and so you all met with our association, and we did share the open house through our text service and our newsletter. So just know that we're pushing the word out there to all the great things that organizations are doing. Just want to get it out there so folks are aware of it and can participate and be a part of their communities.
That's great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And John and I grew up in Collier Heights.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Well, I didn't grow up in Collier Heights. I grew up in Payne Forest.
Okay.
But my parents still actually live on Charleston Drive off Fielden Lane. So I live 2 minutes from them. So I'm just blessed to still have them with me.
We have friends all over that area.
Oh,
sure.
Awesome. What street
Yes.
did you all
I went to Douglas, grew up on
Okay.
the northwest side near St. Paul of the Cross, Hallway
Oh,
Road.
yeah.
That's where I grew up. But we have friends
Okay.
on Fielden Lane, from the Stensons to the
Oh, yes, you know the Stensons,
the
yes.
Freedmans on, so we got, it's a
Yeah.
small community.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
since
you're
the day
talking
of
about
Parkland.
Colonel Freeman, which everybody thought that,
Yes.
because my last name is Freeman too.
Yes.
Everybody thought we were cousins. And
Yes.
so Ronald and I say we're cousins, but we don't really know for sure. But since we have the same last name, we're gonna go with it.
Well, I appreciate
And I
that.
grew up in Kings Grant. So I grew up on Eleanor Court, which is in the Kings
Oh,
Grant
okay, cool.
subdivision.
And I graduated from Collier Heights Elementary School, Roscoe Tweed.
Did you? Okay.
Okay.
We're just all cousins on this call. We
Now
keep
we
talking.
get
We're
Ben, you
gonna
finna do
find
your
out
shout
we're
out
cousins.
then, buddy. You went Ben. You gonna do your shout out then.
Being from Decatur way is great.
That's right.
But I do appreciate your effort. We have naysayers and people that say this has been here before. All we can do is do the seed planting, cultivating, and I'm learned from Gail that sometimes it is holding their hand and showing them. And sometimes it's been a case that they were embarrassed because they didn't have all the records to do. So we just have to get them into that spot. This is a great opportunity, especially when they say you just got to be there and I'll walk you through it. And that's something that eliminates excuses. But we're just canvassing and we're doing what we have to do to do that, and just getting the word out on so many different platforms. So we thank
keep doing what you're doing.
That's what
People
we do.
eventually, you have a lot of great things going on that corridor, and it's continuing to grow with a lot of new development. Slowly but surely it'll happen, but just stay the course. Stay the course.
Ms. Kelsey, thank you so much.
Kelsey, you got any other programs? I'm excited right now. Is it another one?
Let me think. No, I think that's it for right now. That's it for right now. We have some city stuff going on. If you guys are want to see some activity next Thursday, next Wednesday the 30th, that's the word. Next Wednesday the 30th at CT Martin, the rec center. The mayor's having the basketball tournament, and they're trying to have a big thing. So if you know any businesses that need some employees, we're doing a job fair. So if you know anybody needs employment, we're doing a job fair there as well. There'll be food, music, basketball. We'll be at there, CT Martin, have a good time. That's Wednesday night, the 30th, next Wednesday at from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, a little later in the evening, but you know, that will be there. InvestAtlanta will be there. Well, I will be there from InvestAtlanta, but you know, that should be a job fair there. Food, free food, you know, fun, music. Let's have a good time.
Can you send us the flyer on that too, please? Mr.
Yes,
Okay,
as I can.
thank you.
And then remind me, let those who have missed the meeting or you think they want to capture what has Ms. Kelsey's presentation and all the exciting things, that it is recorded, and after this meeting they can go on the website and capture that. So we're trying to make it as easy as we can and continue to do the work. Is there any other announcements, comments? We are getting toward the end to adjourn. I just want to make sure that we got everything covered. Wow, thank you. Thank you for attending. We'll see you the 4th Thursday of April. Thank you, Mr. Kelsey.
Thank you all.
guys so much.
Thank
Have a
you
great
all.
evening.
Everybody, have a good evening.
Yep.
Good
Bye.
night.
Good night.